All right.
Yeah.
The turn, Ibrahim Saab's turn. Please go ahead.
Yes, the creation of the universe is called the work of Allah. The Quran is the word of Allah. The Quran itself says that there's one ayat, it says, who created them, meaning human beings? Did they create themselves? Did the human beings create themselves? Who created them? It's an ayat in the Quran. And also, the Quran says the word ayah. Ayah means S-I-G-N, sign, signs. And there are 10 meanings for the word ayah. Ayat means the verses of the Quran. Ayat means the signs. The signs means the natural phenomena, the celestial bodies. And so there is one ayat in the Quran, it says, you can look into the horizon, or the cosmos, or the universe, and also look into yourselves. So the important thing is there is discipline in the universe. There is a discipline in our own human systems. We have the nervous system, the respiratory system, the circulatory system, digestive, reproductive. There is a discipline in each one. There is a balanced harmony. It cannot be done like this. And there's also a book, very nice book by Dr. Collins, who is the NIH director. He wrote a book. He says the DNA is the language of God. The DNA is the language of God. You see, it did not come just into existence just like this.
No. It's a program.
It's a program. Who programmed it?
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the language,
yeah,
his language is mathematics.
Yes.
And mostly algebra.
Yeah.
Because through algebra,
Al-Khwarizmi
is the only science where you can think about something before it exists and plan how you can prove it.
I have another one, beautiful. I have a lecture, slide lecture. It's called Fine Tuning of the Universe. I wrote an article also. It's called Fine Tuning of the Universe. One example is this, we have the solar eclipse and lunar eclipse total. This will never happen anywhere in the whole universe. You go to Mars and you live there, you will never get this total eclipse of the sun and the moon.
What about Venus? Venus has got moons around it. If a moon come between sun and the Venus, wouldn't there be an eclipse?
No. The reason we have this, because the distance between the sun and the earth, the earth and the moon, this is proportion, the exact proportion. That's why it is. So like this, I have so many proofs, like the water, when it freezes at 4 degrees, it floats. It does not sink. Ice is a solid, but it does not sink. All other solid, they sink.
Yeah.
It's abominable. Why the ice floats when it's solid? The water. So that's very important. Nobody has answered this question. And like this, there are so many.
And it also evaporates.
Yeah.
It becomes vapor.
And also, that's right. That's a good point. Another is why the water is in liquid state rather than the gaseous or solid state.
Yeah.
You see, the vast majority of the water exists in the liquid form.
Yes.
There are many like this. I have a lot. I have treasure.
Can Robert hear us now? Bob, are you hearing us?
You have to unmute, Bob. Bob, you have to unmute.
No, he can hear, which is the most important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
So these are very few things. And another thing is that there was Wahiduddin Khan, Maulana.
Yes.
He wrote a book called God Arises. There's a book called God Arises. And he asked some beautiful question. Why the human height is like between 5 and 6 feet? Why we are not like ants, or like a chicken size of the chicken, or like a dinosaur? Why? It's a beautiful question.
Yes, very important.
Yeah.
What was his response?
No, he wrote beautiful. It's a whole book, I have somewhere here in my library.
No, what was his answer to that?
Because he said, if we are smaller like that, we cannot breathe. Our breathing will die. we're shortened, we cannot breathe, and we will die. I remember that. I read this a long time ago, but that's one of the reasons.
Bob, now since Mike, since Bob is here, should I, and most of what I'm going to say today is based on his research.
Please do.
Compassionate justice is Robert Crane invention, and I full-heartedly accept it. So justice in Islam that I'm going to talk about today is based on joint effort, you might say, but originally was Bob Crane. So should I go ahead and do it?
Please do it.
Okay. Bob, please unmute yourself, Bob. Bob, you have to press the unmute button.
I just did. Can you hear me now? I just
Yes.
unmuted it.
Yes, I can.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, compassionate justice is a great
I'm going
framework, but it's a paradigm of thought, and there are other paradigms of thought. I like the gentleman's description of water, which has different forms. It's solid, it's liquid, it's gaseous. Those could compare to frameworks of thought, paradigms of thought.
Yes.
Depending on which paradigm you use, you will get a result that you might not get with the others. And,
Yes.
and I think we should be aware that what we start with and what we end up with depends on the paradigms of thought that we're following. So compassionate justice is a paradigm of thought. If you don't do the planning, you're not going to get anywhere. So you need planning in addition.
Yes. Mike, are you taping now?
Yes, we're taping it. Yes.
Do you want to restart?
No, we can just cut it in editing. We can do
Okay.
two parts. First part, which is general conversation. Now
Let
the
me then
second.
go ahead and start myself then.
Okay. Can I introduce? Let me introduce. Friends,
Okay.
today we are going to talk about justice. Justice in Islam, that is a universal value. Without justice, there is nothing out there. I would venture to say on my part, the word justice is a synonym for the word Islam. However, some of the Muslim majority nations' practices are contrary to the teachings of Islam, evidenced in the chapter fixing Sharia laws. Regardless of what Muslims practice, the central value of Islam remains, I would like to enhance it to compassionate justice. It is a composite value of balance in the environment, balance within our body, as Ibrahim Saab mentioned earlier, balancing our interactions with fellow human beings, becoming a perfect cog in the wheel of life. In the United States, Canada, UK, and a few other democracies are thriving well because there is a rule of law. The rich and poor, influential and unknown, woman or a man, child or a senior, feel secure living their lives in these nations. That takes away the apprehensions, justice takes away the apprehensions and tensions and gives them freedom to better their lives. In process, they will contribute to the overall goodness of the society. The people around the world were cheering for the American justice system when they discovered that even the president of the United States could not do what he wanted to do. The various courts have rejected some of his executive orders. No one is above the law is a mantra that every American can chant. Both Judaism and Quran lay great emphasis on justice, and many justice verses are misunderstood and are distorted by those who want to insult Islam or those Muslims who have mangled it up. So with that, I introduce Dr. Safi Kaskas to talk about justice from an Islamic perspective. In between, I will share the formula for the justice verses. There are about 18 to 19 justice verses. There is a definite formula embedded in those verses, which I will share.